guys, it's been a long time since I've uploaded a video, so thank you for being so patient. I was waiting to film my new pregnancy updates and waiting for a day that I wouldn't feel tired, but that day just hasn't arrived yet. So I'm recording today anyways, although I'm really tired, but I am happy and I'm doing well. So this update will be about week 29 until week 33. So there's a lot to cover and I have a little bit of help from my pregnancy diary, in which I write every week about what has been going on. So let's start with the weight gain. I gained about 2 kilos, so I'm at 64.7 kilos now. It's not going really fast, but I'm gaining weight, so nou ja. Oh well, that was Dutch. Nou ja, ik ben er blij mee. Well, I'm happy about it. Now about the symptoms, like I said, I've been really tired and I talked about this with my midwife. So she suggested to check my iron levels, and turns out my iron levels had dropped quite a bit, so she advised me to take iron pills. So I picked up some iron pills, and the first few days I didn't notice very much difference, but then during the week it really seemed to help. I felt a little bit better, so that was great. And apart from that, I'm still nauseous almost every day, I guess, a lot at night when I'm going to sleep, but it's not really as intense as the first 2 trimesters. So, well, that's not too bad, I guess. And another symptom is that my belly is still very uncomfortable, of course, and that gets a little bit worse every week. Now I have to pee a lot, and I'm sure I will have to pee even more in the coming weeks because baby gets bigger and is pushing on my bladder. Now I also had some around ligament pain, but not very much. And I was emotional, especially week 30. I was really crying about nothing and in a bad mood for no reason, but that has gotten a lot better now. Now I mentioned this briefly in my last update that we would be going to a hospital, an open hospital night, and we went there, and it was really good to be there. I got this great impression of the hospital. They told us how labor and delivery works there, how it usually goes, and also there was time for a lot of questions from the audience. There were a lot of couples. I didn't expect there to be so many couples, but there were a lot of them, and it was fun to see all the pregnant bellies, of course. But I could ask all the questions that I had. And after that, when they told us everything they wanted to tell us, and there was also a lactation consultant who spoke a little bit about breastfeeding. She was very positive about it, so I really loved that. And after that, we got a tour through the part of the hospital where the labor and delivery suites are, I guess you call them that. Now I didn't get to see the birth pool because it's an inflatable birth pool. I did see a picture of it though on the website. But so when you want to give birth in a pool, the father, so my husband, is going to need to, well, set everything up or prepare the pool. They don't do that for you in the hospital, if you know what I mean. But you know, it is a possibility to give birth in the pool there. And after being in the hospital at night, I really decided that I would love to give birth in the pool. Because everything the hospital told was really positive. So for example, they were very positive about breastfeeding. I just got a really good impression of them. Very friendly people, and yeah, it feels good. So that is the plan as of now, that I want to give birth in the pool. Now we have to order a special box that's with the disposable items that is needed for when you want to give birth in the pool. So for example, a large piece of plastic that goes in the pool, and also things like a tube to drain the pool afterwards. I think it's for that purpose. So we ordered the box, and that will be delivered soon to our home. And yeah, I guess then I'll have to pack my hospital bag and we would be ready to go. Now when Daniel was a few days off, we worked on the baby's room, so it was his office, so we emptied it almost completely. We left some furniture there that's well, we don't have a place in the house to put it, and it would be convenient to have it as a closet for the baby, for example, for all the toys and clothes. So some things we left there, but apart from that we emptied it out. There were a lot of books and other things, and then I cleaned it, which you saw in one of my cleaning videos. I will link it somewhere here. And yeah, then afterwards we put in some of the baby things we had because they were all in my office. My office was a big mess because of all the baby related things that were in there. And then we got our furniture. So some of the furniture we stored at my parents' house, and some of the furniture for the baby we stored in our little barn. And we had that for a while because we bought it from my brother and sister-in-law. So a closet and a changing table, and then Daniel put everything together. He constructed, montage. Well, he put all the pieces of the furniture together, so now everything, well, some things are ready. And I found this really cute, well, they are kind of like doorknobs, but you can screw them on drawers. I'm not sure if there's a specific name for an item like this, but I think you can see what I mean. I think they're really cute with the star, so I might go with the star theme for the baby's room. I think it's really neat, star theme for a boy. And I posted a little tiny sneak peek of the baby's room on my Facebook page, so if you want to see that, you can check it out. It's not really an overview of the room, but my sister-in-law painted this beautiful painting on the wall, and I show a little bit of that. So if you want to see it, you can check out my Facebook page. Now my parents wanted to give us a baby wrap, so I looked online, I searched for what kind of options are there and what would suit us, and also something that would be wearable for both Daniel and me, because he wants to try to wear the baby too. So here's what I found. I found this beautiful blue colored wrap, and it is really long, and this is the instruction. So here's a little picture of what it looks like. Here's the blue one. So I'm really excited that Daniel wants to try it too, and that's why I chose the blue one, because I also thought about buying maybe something like bright yellow or more of a turquoise mint color, but blue will fit us both. Now when I was 30 weeks pregnant, we had an ultrasound. That is just standard procedure. At 30 weeks they measure the baby if the growth is going well, and everything looked great, so we were really happy about it. And also at that appointment we had the talk about the labor and delivery. We could ask all the questions that we had, and the midwife would tell a little bit about well, what is common or how they work. So that was really interesting and very good to talk about it, because we did have some questions. For example, I wondered if my own midwife would go with us to the hospital, because the hospital has its own midwives, but it turns out that our own midwife comes with us, and our own midwife will stay with us during the entire delivery. Unless there would be a medical problem, then she would sort of transfer us or give the responsibility to the hospital. So we would get a hospital midwife and maybe a hospital doctor that would be at the birth. But if everything goes well and if there are no medical issues, then we just are with our own midwife, a hospital nurse, and that's it. So when everything goes well, all we actually do is rent a hospital room, and then we have a little bit of help from a hospital nurse, but it's just with our own midwife. So I hope that will be the case, because I really like the midwife that we have. Well, we have 4, so it is kind of, it's not certain, of course, at this point who will be at the birth, but they're all very nice. And well, I don't know the hospital staff, of course, although like I said, the hospital staff that I met during the open hospital night everyone was really friendly, but it's just nice to... I would prefer to be with our own midwife, of course. Now, like I said, the baby is growing just as he should, according to the ultrasound. So he's doing really well, and he has the hiccups almost every day. I can really feel his movements, although there were a few moments or a day here and there that was a little bit more calm. And then I start to worry, well, is he all right? But when I lay down on my left side and start to count his movements, then he's always still quite active. So I think I just don't feel it when I'm on my feet or busy. And when we go to the checkups at the midwife's office, his heartbeat is always just as it should be, really strong. So yeah, he's doing great. Now, I don't know if I told you this before, but we have a little nickname for our little boy. And we call him Sproetje, which means little freckle. It's a little bit hard to explain where it comes from, but when I was a child, I played this computer game. It was a computer game with all kinds of fish, and one of the mother fishes called her little boy fish Sproetje. So that's a little bit different from Sproetje. But I thought it was really cute, and because I have a lot of freckles, Sproetje suits better than Sproetje. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. It would help if you knew Dutch to understand what I mean, but well, we call him little freckles Sproetje. Now I am looking for a good freezer so I can freeze a lot of meals for the first week after baby is born. I think that would be really convenient because we have a nurse there to help us, but they don't prepare the entire dinner. Maybe they help sometimes a little bit. Well, that's what they told me, but they don't really do a lot of cooking. So I thought it would be great to have a bigger freezer so I can store meals and bread and everything. So I'm trying to find a used freezer, but if I don't succeed at that, I will buy a new one. And well, I hope that will be soon so I can start preparing the food. Now there's more and more pressure on my belly button, like I said before. So it's really inside, almost entirely inside out now, which is really funny. I don't have stretch marks at this point, so I'm curious if that will stay that way. I hope so, of course, but we'll see. And the linea nigra is still very faint, but I think it's getting a little bit darker. Now the last thing I can tell you is that the baby is still responding really strong to my husband's voice. And that is so cute and really helpful, because on the moments that the baby is very calm and I'm a little bit worried, I ask my husband to talk to him, and usually the baby gets really active then. And then, well, that gives me peace of mind, I guess. So yeah, that was all the news for all those last weeks. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can of course leave them down below. And don't forget to check out my Facebook page so you can see a little bit of the wall painting that my sister-in-law made. And then I will see you in my next update. Bye! I also started to play the piano for the baby sometimes because I read that might be good for the development of the brain, although some research says that it doesn't.